Okay, good evening ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to test drive the 2012 Volkswagen Tiguan. This is the 2-liter TSI 4Motion variant. So before I start, I would like to apologize if any errors comes into the video because this is my first time doing a test drive video while explaining about the car. So without further ado, let's start the journey. So a little overview about this Volkswagen Tiguan. So this is a Volkswagen Tiguan Mark 1. So in Malaysia, this 2012 Volkswagen Tiguan comes with two variants, which is a 1.4 liter TSI 6-speed DSG, and this one 2 liter TSI comes with a 7-speed wet clutch DSG. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the driving of this car and tell you what are the pros and cons about this car if you are considering a German continental SUV below 80k. So now let's try out the first bump. So typical Conti car, the suspension are very pliant, not very harsh. Given that this is an SUV, it's supposed to be comfort. Okay, let's try out a short route. So this car also comes with a pedal shifter. Can manually control the gear if you put into S or manual mode. So the steering feedback is pretty good. Given that this is a Volkswagen, they tune the steering wheel very well and it's weighty, so it's not very lightweight like those normal and modern SUVs that you can get, such as the X70 that I tested before. The steering wheel are very light and there are no feedback. But in this Tiguan, there are quite a lot of feedback, which is a good thing for handling. So now let's try this. So the signal is on the left side because it's a continental car. So let's try the second bump, and there are bad roads. So the suspension absorbs it very well. One thing good about this Tiguan is it comes with a organ type acceleration pedal. If you ever sit or experience in a current Volkswagen Tiguan which Malaysia are on sale, you'll notice the throttle pedal is actually hanging type instead of organ type. So one thing good about organ type pedal is when you are traveling long journey, you can actually rest your feet on the pedal and it's very comfortable. And you can also modulate the throttle pedal much more precise compared to those who are hanging. So this is one thing I love about this 2012 Tiguan versus the new one. So let's try out the roundabout and test the cornering. Very sturdy, given that this is a 4Motion. So for information, only the 2-liter TSI in Malaysia comes with a 4Motion, which is Volkswagen version of a 4-wheel drive system, whereas the 1.4 only comes with a front-wheel drive. So I'll try a second corner. You may feel slight lag from the turbo because this is typical turbocharged engine. They need some time to boost the engine. And this 2-liter turbocharged of the Volkswagen Tiguan comes with the EA 888 engine, which is the same engine you found in Golf GTI, Golf R. Of course, this engine is tuned to be more comfort oriented instead of performance oriented like those in the GTI or the Golf R. And given that it's paired with a 4Motion, so it actually has a similar hardware as the Volkswagen Golf R MK6. Okay, let's try out short acceleration. So the acceleration is in a smoother manner instead of aggressive manner because it comes with a 4-wheel drive. So the power delivery is sent to 4 wheels in a pretty balanced manner compared to those front-wheel drive SUVs. And the power figure of this is roughly around 200 horsepower and torque is nearly 300. So the power is more than enough for your daily basis. And the visibility from the front is excellent, although you do find some blind spot from the A-pillar because it's rather thick for safety purposes, but it's totally not a deal breaker. And the sitting position of this Tiguan is rather tall so that you can get a perfect visibility to the front. And the steering angle I already adjust to the most lower position, but I do feel it's a bit tall, but it is forgivable for a SUV. And as for the body roll, it's very apparent given that this is a SUV. Of course it has body roll because it has a taller ride height. And this car is run on 17-inch rim and the tires are 235 in width, so it ensures a more stability ride and handling. And the brakes are not too choppy, the brakes are in a linear manner. So Volkswagen have tuned this car very well. And as for the interior, I do feel it's nicer to look at and feel compared to the new Volkswagen Tiguan, the current one that we get, because it has some rounded design elements so that it makes the interior look more interesting. Whereas in the current Tiguan, all are designed in a very boxy manner. Even though it's modern, but after you look at it for quite some time, you do feel a bit boring. But this one, you do have some round elements for the aircon vents, which makes the interior look more refreshing. So now let's have a smooth drive. So this is the oil temperature. For most Volkswagen owner, you are suggested to put the center multi-information display to monitor the oil temperature because it is very important for most continental cars. You need to monitor the oil temperature, especially Volkswagen. So now we are cruising at around 100 kilometers per hour. Very stable, 4Motion and 235 width tires. And if you want to have a more spiritual driving, you can also put into manual mode, which you can control your gears yourself. And now we are in gear 7. The RPM is below 2000, so this engine is proven to be more fuel efficient than most Japanese SUVs around this price range. So you can also down gear if you want to have more power. So the suspension absorbs the undulation of the road very well. So now brake. You can downshift to do the engine braking. So the middle cluster is nicely sized. In fact, this is the similar middle cluster you can find in the Volkswagen Passat and this steering wheel as well. The steering wheel is very thick, typical continental cars, which is very nice to grip, and the leather quality is pretty good because this is Napa leather steering wheel. So now we're cruising in 7th gear, RPM below 2000. And the power is always there. Even though we are in gear 7, if we step on the throttle pedal, you can feel the power is coming. Very stable car, as you can see. We're going through the undulation and bumps. Okay, now let's put it to D. So even though in high speed, the steering wheel still feels very firm. which is good for handling and stability. As you can see, we are taking this corner at 110 kilometers per hour. Very sturdy. Also credits to the 4Motion, who does its job to maintain the stability of the car. And the soundproof of this car is excellent. We are traveling around above 100 kilometers per hour, but there are barely any wind noise and tire noise. So for me, I have no complaints. So this car also comes with the automatic headlights. So just now in the tunnel, the lights are not on because I put the light switch in off instead of automatic. So this car comes with 6 airbags, ABS, CBD. Of course, in this era, the advanced safety system aren't as complete and not compulsory for most cars. So this Volkswagen Tiguan doesn't come with it. But I still have 6 airbags. So it's in the corner, we can downshift to have engine braking. Let's make a U-turn. Okay, this is an uphill road, then we accelerate. The gear shift is fast because it's a DSG. It's known for its fast shifting. But do note that if you are considering a Volkswagen vehicle, it's recommended to find the model which comes with a wet clutch, because the dry clutch are known to have the mechatronic issue, because the mechatronic will eventually overheat and fault. So these dry clutch gearbox are normally found in the 1.4 liter models. So if you are shopping for a used Volkswagen, it's better to go for a 2 liter turbo like this one, because it comes with a 7-speed wet clutch DSG. Not only it has 1 extra gear, and the reliability of this gearbox is proven to be more reliable than those in the 1.4, which has a 6-speed dry clutch. Slowly brake. The brakes are really nice, very gradual and bitey. Okay, this car does come with auto hold, whereby there's a button behind the electronic parking brake. Once you activate it, you can put your foot off the brakes. The car will hold itself. So this is the pedal shifter. And this car does come with dual zone climate controls. So these are the Volkswagen touchscreen head unit. It does support touchscreen. And this is a pretty basic head unit, but it does come with radio. But it doesn't come with Bluetooth, but it does have a CD slot right here. And I hope you do get some extra storage space. So if you want to get go, you just put your foot on the accelerator pedal and the auto hold will be disabled itself. So this is a very smooth route. The cornering. engine sounds are also very quiet. You barely hear any engine note from the engine bay. This means that soundproofing for the firewall is excellent. So one question people may ask, should you consider this Volkswagen Tiguan in this price range, or there are other options? So of course, this Volkswagen Tiguan 2-liter turbo in the used car market are roughly around 50 to 60,000. In this price range, you can get some of its Japanese SUV rivals such as CR-Vs, the X-Trails, and some others Japanese brand. So for continental brands, maybe you can get the old BMW X1 or BMW X3. So in my personal opinion, I think you can shortlist this Volkswagen Tiguan because for this price range, you get a rather complete package such as a 2-liter turbo engine and a fast shifting DSG gearbox. But of course, cheap pricing comes sacrification because this engine, after going around 100,000 mileage, it has the risk of what we call it, it will eat the engine oil, so you must prepare some engine oil behind your boot. You must check the engine oil level regularly. Secondly, you must maintain the gearbox. You must change the gearbox oil regularly, follow the service schedule, because it will actually lengthen the lifespan of the DSG gearbox. And second, I think this car is worth considering because of its 4-wheel drive system. Even though 4-wheel drive system may sacrifice in terms of fuel efficiency, but it provides you a better stability in higher speed. So if you are driving this car in a highway in a higher speed, you will feel very safe and stable. And also the tires are in 235 width, so it's a complete package for its stability. And for the specification, I think it's rather complete, even though it doesn't come with those active safety feature. But Volkswagen are known to make safe vehicle, and the steels they are using are ultra high strength steel, which is similar you found in Audis. So the car structure is no question, it's very strong, and it comes with 6 airbags. So of course, for the price, you must also spend a few thousand to do some what do you call it, refurbishment as well for the interior, because some German cars, for the interior, especially the soft type plastic, some may melt, so you must spend some money to do the refurbishment. And some service, you must send it to service, either third party or Volkswagen service center. So overall, I'm very impressed with the car for the price that we paid for this car. And now the mileage is for this car is around 87,000. So one more common problem about the Volkswagen is the wheel speed sensor, which other continental cars may face. So they are not really expensive to maintain, to replace. So these are things that you need to take note of if you are considering the Volkswagen Tiguan. So other than that, it's a good car to consider. So now let's just enjoy the silent drive of this car. So down here you can also use the pedal shifter to do engine braking. So this is a rather sharp corner. The body roll are controlled quite well. And over the years, as you can hear, this car doesn't hear any rattling noise, which means this car are built very solid. This is the benefit if you are getting a Volkswagen or Audi vehicle. And the seats are very comfortable as well. You get power adjustment for the driver's side together with lumbar support. As you can see, it shifts out very willingly to save some fuel. And the window in this car are fully automatic in both directions. And the quality of these switches are very high quality. I think you can find these buttons in the Audi Q3 because the Volkswagen Tiguan is basically based on the Audi Q3. So for the price lesser for Audi Q3, you get the same thing. So I think the Tiguan is a bargain choice. The handling are also really nice. And for the exterior looks, I personally prefer this over the current one because it is less boxy. Of course, some people may like boxy design, but personally for me, I would like the car to be a bit round because round for me is a modernization signature. And it also comes with LED daytime running lights with the bi-xenon headlights. So the headlights are actually quite high spec. But of course, this is the high spec of the Tiguan you can get in 2012. The base model would be the 1.4. If you listen more carefully, you can hear the turbo boosting sound. And this pedal does come with a kick down button, so if you press it, you will go into aggressive mode, basically a sport mode for overtaking. But most of the time we will just press around 40 to 50% of throttle. It already gives a good power delivery. It's very comfortable to drive daily, both daily and long journey trips. So for the price, it's a bargain. Okay, so this is the end of the test drive video. So for more information about this car that you want to ask, you can comment down below and let me know, and I'll try to answer you. So that's all for the test drive video of this 2012 Volkswagen Tiguan 2.0 TSI. Cheers.